You're listening to the Kelly+Partners Investment Office Podcast, where you'll hear directly from some of Australia's leading CEOs of private companies that are in a high growth phase where we've taken an investment position. Well, welcome to the Kelly+Partners Investment Office Podcast, where we get the senior leaders from our investee companies to share their stories. And today I'm welcoming Peter Davey, the Managing Director and CEO of Clover Corporation. Hello, Peter.
Hi, Brett. Pleased to meet you.
Thanks for joining us. I'm also joined by Anoop, Kalra, our Chief Investment Officer. G'day, Anoop.
Hi, Brett. Hi, Peter.
Hi.
I always like to start at the beginning because that's a good place to start, which is, Peter, can you share your sort of career, your personal and career story?
It's a long story because I'm pretty old, but I'll try and cut it short for you. I started in advertising. I went to uni and did graphic design and fine art and ended up in advertising, worked in that for 6 years and sort of got an affiliation for marketing. So left the world of advertising and went into marketing. Luckily, I ended up in an organisation that was majority owned by Honeywell. And so within that business, I got fantastic exposure to people, systems, process and education. So I was there for 11 or 12 years, worked in other parts of the world, lived in Thailand, set up greenfield factories, really good exposure to systems and process that has stood me in good stead for the rest of my time. They put me through a marketing degree, a business degree and an MBA. So they loved training you because they retained you in the business, which worked quite well. I went through a multiple of different industries, so sort of exposure to industrial, agricultural, different sorts of manufacturing organisations with fairly much global businesses in various roles of sort of general management, managing director, and ended up here at Clover Corporation, which is more of a biotech business, so quite different, but utilises the same skills and capabilities that I've learned over a long period of time working in other organisations.
Terrific. And can you share, what is Clover Corporation and what is, your core product, the business case? Mm-hmm. What are you trying to achieve there, Pete?
Sure. So Clover Corp's a relatively small business, so we're ASX listed. We're 55 people. We work in the biotech industry. We're listed as materials, but effectively what we do is we take high value oils products and we microencapsulate them. So we use specific technologies that turn oils into powders, and some of those might be a vitamin or a mineral in an oil form that we turn into a powder that can then be put into a food or a nutraceutical or a pharmaceutical product where they would normally react with other products, either in a chemical way, like a chelated product, or in a sensory way, like a smell or taste. The vast majority of what we encapsulate is omega-3 oils, omega-3 and omega-6 oils. And the central marketplace for those are the infant formula market. So within mother's breast milk, there is omega-3. We term it as DHA and EPA and ARA. But they are omega-3s and omega-6s that naturally occur in mother's breast milk. And so when you produce a can of infant formula, you're trying to reproduce exactly what's in mother's breast milk. And so to get the omega-3s and omega-6s, which are effectively fish oils, for want of a better word, and can have real significant smelling and taste issues, we microencapsulate them that it protects them. So it gives them no smell, no taste, and an extended shelf life as well. So our products can last in a can for 24 months and gives the customer what they need.
So Peter, I think it's really quite interesting. To me, I think Clover Corporation is a really unique Australian, I'm going to call you a manufacturing business because you actually manufacture the product.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That has a globally dominant position. In the niche that you play in, you are by far and away the largest player in the world, with over 60% market share, and you deal with some of the largest infant formula businesses in the world. What is unique about Clover's product, and why does it have such a dominant position?
We've got a strong position in the marketplace, which is is good and bad. It comes with its benefits. It comes with its downsides as well. Overall, look, the positioning really is we've got fantastic quality of product and quality of people. That's the uniqueness of it. When a customer has a problem, they come to Clover. We have some giant gorillas of competitors in the marketplace, but they're dealing with hundreds and to thousands of products where we effectively deal with a very small stable of products. And we are very much what I would term a solutions-based business. If you've got a problem, we will work with you to fix it. And that going through that process of creating a resolution for a customer is what creates a bond with that customer. It becomes a competitive advantage because it's very difficult to move away from you, but it also provides that customer with the solution they're looking for to have a marketable product. And so the entire force of our business is put together to deliver to customers a solution, which we do. And that's what we've evolved from being a relatively small business some 7 years ago to something which is a considerable market force in today's terms, certainly.
And Peter, can you talk about some of the trends that we're seeing in the infant formula business, which is your key customer base today? Obviously, huge amounts of short-term dislocation due to COVID. But if we put those issues aside, what are some of the trends that are occurring in the industry? I guess especially from a regulatory standpoint that's driving, growth in the underlying business.
So I suppose most markets are going through regulatory change at the moment. Europe tends to be the leader of the marketplace in the infant formula world, and they decided some 3 years ago now that they would mandate a whole lot of requirements to justify what a can of infant formula is. And that goes back to what I was saying before. They're trying to legislate that the can of infant formula is as close as humanly possible to what mother's breast milk would be. And so they've put specific levels around the inclusions, like our product. So the level of DHA is legislated within the European marketplace to be a certain level that meets mother's breast milk. If I can put reasons around that is, a DHA or omega-3 is what develops a baby's cardiovascular system, its eye and its brain. And so therefore it's a good thing to have. So that legislative change that occurred in Europe, which was a significant boost for our business, hit by COVID, unfortunately, but that'll come back, is now being legislated in China. And generally, we will see that roll out across the world. So the impact of it will be that the Americans will probably move next. You wouldn't want to be caught behind China, would you? So I think Australia will probably be the last to move. It's just the nature of Australia. We tend to wait for everybody else to do something, then we'll jump on board at the very end. That's probably 20 years away. So being a bit political today, aren't I? So we've got the opportunity to be able to leverage off these requirements, and we have a product and a solution that matches it. I suppose the other big change that we've seen in the marketplace is China's been trying to protect its own marketplace. And so they've put in place regulations and rules which is more attractive for the local consumer to buy locally made product. And with that, we've seen the rise of local Chinese infant formula brands, but we've also seen a lot of the Western manufacturers set up manufacturing within mainland China, and therefore we will get the benefit of moving into the China marketplace with them. And then the third biggest change is diversification of products. So we've seen a lot of products go from a basic can of infant formula to more move down the medical foods route to being a product, a solution for individual babies. So if a baby's got a certain sickness or can't tolerate cow's milk, there's goat's milk, there's sheep's milk, there's soy-based infant formulas. So that range extension has been quite enormous. And within that range extension, there's also been this premiumization of the marketplace. So you've got a basic can of infant formula, which may sell for $20, or you can buy this super duper can that's got double the level of DHA level and double the probiotics and something else and triple choline levels, and you'll pay $80 for that can of infant formula. And it's worked. The marketplace is absolutely buying those products. So a lot of things are happening. A lot of it's pretty fluid, and governments are involved in it. We've probably benefited from all of those changes. And what it's allowed us to do is diversify our product range. So we've had to move with those customers. So 7 years ago, we had 2 products. Today, I can't even tell you how many products we've got. It's well over 20 different products, because quite often in individual customer cases, we have a product or solution just for that individual customer. It's not available to somebody else. So it's allowed us to grow and develop those relationships and those solutions for those customers. So it's worked well with our business model.
Peter, China is the largest infant formula market in the world. With the changes that are due to come in there, I think it's next calendar year, what do you think it can potentially mean for the demand for a product that you provide, and how is Clover positioned to take advantage of that?
Look, and we've said this to the marketplace previously. It provides us with a great opportunity. Our traditional marketplace has been outside of mainland China. We've serviced most of the Western infant formula manufacturers, some of whom have been bought out by Chinese manufacturers, and they then have sold their products into the China marketplace. With the increasing business within mainland China, we've staffed up China itself, so we've got our own people in the marketplace. We've developed relationships with those manufacturers, and we've worked with them to be part of their formulations, and we've got some degree of success in that area. They have to be licensed to sell their product within mainland China, and those licenses won't come out till February next year, so we wouldn't expect to see much movement until then. But we also get the benefit of the Western manufacturers that are moving into China, but we will move with them into mainland China. And so because we manufacture with them in Europe, well, they'll take us as their known brand and their known product into those markets. It's not to say that our competitors and local Chinese competitors won't benefit as well, but we believe that we should be active in the marketplace and get our fair share of that marketplace as well.
So Peter, we've got some strong tailwinds in the infant formula space, which is the core key business of operation for the company today. You're also broadening the product suite to move into newer areas of different types of functional foods. Can you give us a feel for some of the new products that your encapsulated DHA is going into, and what it could mean for the business?
Sure. So it's a massive marketplace. So if you look at our market of just omega-3s, and we do other products as well, but the omega-3 marketplace is a $1.4 billion market. The infant formula marketplace, which we service nearly 90% of our business today, is less than 10% of that $1.4 billion market. So we have enormous scope for growth. And so what we've been doing is looking at learning, understanding, and developing solutions that can address that gap in the marketplace. Obviously, there are value opportunities and non-value opportunities within it. So we're really focusing around the medical food, pharmaceutical side, the high-end food drink area, and the high-end nutraceutical products. So if I go through some things that we've done in recent times there, we've launched what's called an EPA product. It's an element of omega-3. It's known to help people with immunity problems, and so we've launched a product into that marketplace. It's relatively new, but we are getting sales, and we've just got some opportunities in that area to do sort of across this pharmaceutical and medical food sort of gap. We've developed some products that are going into UHT products. So in the food segment, there are real opportunities, especially through Southeast Asia, where customers want to have a milk product that utilises fortification to raise its level, and especially within children's milk products. And so we think there's a real opportunity to fortify UHT products because of the refrigeration issues. They also exist in North America, which is quite surprising. That we've developed a product, we have put IP around it, and we're about to launch for trial that product into the marketplace, which we disclosed at our end year. And then maybe more of the nutraceutical side, we've developed a series of very high concentrated products. Traditionally, we've been going into the gummy sort of market, and we've done fairly well in it, and there's a lot of opportunity and scope for growth in it. It's a booming market in North America at the moment. We've probably got the best solution for that market. But we've also done these very highly concentrated powders that can be turned into tablets. And so the tabletization of those products makes it another solution to get omega-3. A lot of people don't like taking the soft shells. Well, they can't swallow them because they're so large. And they get burp and things like that. In a tabletized form, it's much easier to take, and there's no reflux or anything that recurs from it. So that's another solution that we're taking to marketplace. We've done a whole lot of samples and released them out to people in the marketplace as another opportunity.
So Peter, if we look at the business today, in 3 to 5 years' time, given the growth drivers that are there, what are your thoughts? What would you like the business to be in 3 to 5 years?
The short answer is really big. So look, for us, it's I would expect that we will enter the medical market, the pharmaceutical medical foods. We will be more into the food marketplace than what we are today, and certainly into nutraceuticals as well. And we're already in that marketplace to some degree, but it's a very cost market. So having high value solutions allows us to get into the top end of that marketplace. The biggest change I think you'll see with us is that today we are a local Australian, New Zealand manufacturer servicing a global marketplace. I think the biggest change really will be we'll have a global footprint. As we pursue these other market segments, we will have to find new technologies and process technologies and product technologies, which will come through licensing, acquisition, through outsourcing, and we need to be able to be close to the marketplace with some of these products. The cost of transportation, which has ballooned at the moment, and tariff barriers that occur in some markets, especially the EU, really does put a barrier in front of us to accessing some of these marketplaces. And of course, we're transporting liquid quite often, and it's a big, bulky product. So the closer we can be to marketplace, the more competitive and the more responsive we can be to customers as well. So I think we will enter new segments. We will have to find new product solutions and technology to be able to do that. And it'll mean the globalization more of the footprint of the business.
And Peter, the company is very much an IP-driven company, like you described at the start. The challenges, I think clearly, given your market position, I think that's come about because you've invested in people and in R&D that other people haven't bothered to do because the market opportunity has been so small. Obviously, as the market opportunity grows, the challenge is to retain the people and keep the IP in a position that stays ahead of the competition. So how is Clover positioning itself to be able to achieve that?
I think a lot of it's just the culture of the actual organisation. I'm really proud of what we've got and the people we've got. When we bring people in, most people come into this business because we are a science-based business that actually has crossed that abyss from being just a science company into a commercialisation company. So we've commercialised probably 8 to 10 products in the last 4 years, which not many companies would do, and put IP around them. So we've registered a whole lot of IP, and it's given us access. If I'm in that science world and I want to be in more of a commercial business, people look to us and they want to come and work for us. We're also successful, which makes it even better. So we get other people attracted to the business. People like working for companies that do well, and we're global. So we've got offices all around the world. I think once people are in the business, we try to have a culture that really retains them by actually valuing them. I'm big on communication, and COVID has really personified that. I have to talk to people and communicate with them basically weekly. And so when we do strategy, and over COVID, we've got 50 people in the organisation. 30 people went through our strategy process. So we bring people into our company and we actually value them. We listen to them. We utilise their knowledge, and they're the people. They're the future of the company. The other side of it is you can never retain everybody for too long. And that's just the reality. We've got people that are here for 3 years and some people that are here for 20 years. But in that, the philosophy I bring to it is that you make the absolute best of them while they're here. And when they do leave, if they leave, then they leave as a better person than when they came. And I would hope they would think that's true as well, because we do give them good exposure to everything across the business. I say to everybody that comes in this business, well, you've got a title and you've got a job, congratulations. Now there's another 3 jobs waiting for you, because that's just the reality of it. And don't look over your shoulder, because there's no one there to do it for you. So that's the way it works. People get stuck into things, and it's extraordinarily cross-functional, and we're small enough to keep it that way. So everybody that's in R&D has a customer relationship. They have an end user customer relationship. They know exactly what's going on. They have a factory relationship. So they know what happens within our factory environment, within their lab environment, within the customer environment. So there's good exposure across the whole value chain of business. So
Peter, as you expand globally, particularly to markets like China, how do you protect your IP?
Look, most of it's with know-how. So we wrap as much IP around the products we have, but generally it's done with the know-how about the process technology. You would be aware that we had a patent around a product for many years that we licensed from the CSIRO, and really, if that could have been copied, it would have been. It's always been the process technology that has protected that. And when somebody tries to do it, we take them to court. So we will absolutely contest the knowledge and capability of our business in any situation, in any market of the world.
Terrific. So when you look out over the next 5 or 10 years, if things go according to plan, best laid plans of mice and men, what does the future look like from a big picture vision point of view in attracting people to the cause?
Oh, look, I think as we grow and expand into other markets, we will attract people because we're growing. And it may be from an acquisition perspective. I think really to get into some of the markets, we need more intelligence, more capability, and better people to be able to enter markets where we don't have all the knowledge and all the capability, so we can leverage off the knowledge of other people. I think that's why we'll bring more people in. We've grown from 30 to 50 in the last 7 years, so I imagine we'll be growing considerably more as our bottom line grows with it. So that's the target, to constantly grow this business. We've taken a bit of a step back because of COVID, which is a bit of a shame. We were on a massive growth trajectory, but I think as we've actually got people traveling again, which is really nice. So we've just done 3 weeks in the US. So we're starting to see the opening of marketplaces. If we can get some ships to come to Australia and actually deliver some product at the moment, that would help enormously.
Yeah, terrific. And now I always love to finish with a question that is there a motto or a quote or thought that best summarizes your approach to life and business?
Yeah, I'm not much into mottos and thoughts and those sort of things. It might be a bit disappointing. The only thing I can bring to it is, and this is something I live by, my children live by, they can quote it to you, as our entire business would be, is I have 3 values, which I call the 3 R's, and they are respect, response, and responsibility. And so in short, they are, I believe that everybody has their role and everybody should be respected for what they do. Most of that comes out in the way we respond and communicate and talk to each other. And I try to drive a really honest way of communicating within the business. There is some pretty hard conversations and different opinions, which I'm happy for as long as it's done in a respectful manner. And then in terms of responsibility, we all have many responsibilities in life, but when you come to work, you're paid to do your job. And so I have an expectation that people come in here and absolutely do their job, and the other 3 I give them as well. So that's my general welcome speech when people come into the business. It's on the wall in reception, so people know it. And we have a reward system through the business that rewards people living those 3 values and showing them throughout the organisation.
Yes, that's terrific. That's a good answer to my standard question. I really appreciate your time today, Peter. I'm so excited when Anoop found the company and said, "What do you think about this?" And I thought, "Yep, like the sound of that. It's very cool." And we're here for the long term and excited to see how it develops.
Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Anoop.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Kelly+Partners Investment Office Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show and found it informative and interesting to learn about our investee companies. If you love this episode, don't forget to follow us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. As Brett says, have a great day.